I am teacher Angeline, and today we will learn the different methods we can use in teaching physical education and health. We are going to learn the different styles or methods we can use inside our classroom for an effective teaching and learning. Most importantly, as a physical education and health teacher, it is extremely beneficial for us to have a strong understanding of the different teaching methods as it allows us to cater all the different ways a pupils learn, to cater or address their different learning styles depending on their different abilities, interests, diverse strengths, and experiences. And also, it allows students to learn all the concepts, processes, and skills inherent to physical education and health. Learning the different teaching methods can also allow us to eliminate the monotony in teaching process. When we say monotony, it is the use of the same routine in teaching that could decrease the interest of the students. That's why it is very important to learn the different teaching methods of teaching physical education and health to eliminate the monotony in the delivery of the physical education and health lessons. And lastly, learning the different teaching methods are useful for planning how will a student achieve a given learning objectives. Because just like what I said earlier, using different teaching methods will help us to teach effectively by achieving our learning objectives for each student despite the different strengths, abilities, experiences, and interests they have. A spectrum of teaching styles were first designed by Moston and Ashworth as they designed a cohesive framework to serve as a guide for physical education and health teachers. It is consists of 11 different teaching methods, 5 teacher-centered, or in other words, it is the reproductive or direct teaching, and 6 student-centered, or in opposite, it is the productive or indirect teaching. Let's start with the first teacher-centered teaching method. It is the command style. It is a didactic style where the teacher makes all the decisions. It is often described as teacher-centered and autocratic. Didactic style meaning all the information for learning are all presented from the teacher to the pupils. Students respond immediately to the stimulus or model provided by the teacher. This method is best used when safety is paramount or if time is of the essence and when fast responses and replication of skills is required. For example, a synchronized warm-up where the students follow the teacher. And that is the command style. All the instructions are always from the teacher and followed by the student. The second teacher-centered teaching method is the practice style. It is a teaching style where the teacher demonstrates the task and sets up the opportunity for learners to practice and develop skills at their own pace. If in the command style, all the instructions or informations for learning are all presented by the teacher, on this practice style, on the other hand, is a teaching method wherein all the tasks were first demonstrated by the teacher. Then afterwards, the students will be given an opportunity to practice and develop their skills at their own pace, depending on the abilities, interests, and different strengths they have. As pupils carry out the prescribed task, the teacher circulates the class, giving individual and group feedback. For example, the teacher demonstrates how to hurl the stick in playing shato. As students practice their own hurling technique, the teacher will go around the class giving feedback. Another example is when you are teaching health. The teacher will demonstrate how to give a preliminary aid for a basic wound. Then, as the students practice their own basic treatments, then you as a teacher will roam around the class and give them feedback on how they are doing the certain task. And that is the practice method. Third one, we have the reciprocal style. Remember that reciprocal style is another teacher-centered teaching method where the students work together in pairs and take turns observing and giving feedback to each other using the performance criteria or skill card which was provided by the teacher. It is something like collaboration or peer teaching among the students. The difference is that it is in a reciprocal style and they are given a performance criteria or a skill card that will serve as a guide for them how they evaluate or teach each other. As students completing the task, the teacher will circulate the group and provide feedback to and through the observer. For example, students are in pairs and using skill card on how to perform a dig in a volleyball and take turns coaching each other. Meanwhile, the teacher will move among the class giving feedback through the student coaching. And that is the reciprocal style. Let's now proceed to the next teaching method, which is the self-check. When we say self-check, it is a teaching method wherein the teacher will provide a performance criteria or a skill card to the students, which includes a visual reference for fault correction. This method is similar to reciprocal style except that students work on their own, and included on the performance criteria or skill card given to them is the visual reference for fault correction, in which the students will correct their own learning based on the visual reference provided by the teacher. This style allows students to practice and self-check on their own time and evaluate their own learning. The teacher will circulate the class and works in conjunction with students to set targets and goals. For example, when you are teaching some corrective exercises and you provided your students a performance criteria which includes a visual reference for fault correction to check and evaluate their own corrective exercises to reach the target or the goals you set as their teacher. And that is the self-check method. Lastly, let's now proceed to the last teacher-centered teaching method, which is the inclusion style. Inclusion style is a teaching method where the teacher plans and sets out variety of tasks which has differentiated level of difficulty. On this teaching method, the teacher will set out variety of tasks that has differentiated level of difficulty that is suited on the different levels of abilities and strengths of the students, so that pupils will decide which task is most appropriate for their abilities and motivations. For example, when you are teaching particularly health, as a teacher, you should provide different tasks or activities that is related on your lesson and has a different level of difficulty so that your students can select which task is appropriate on the level of their ability. Or when you are teaching some indigenous games like patintero or some sports, let's say volleyball, you as a teacher should prepare a different role or a task that has different level of difficulty, and just let your students decide what role has a specific level of difficulty is appropriate for them. Because this inclusion style provides a personalized and developmental approach to learning. And that is the inclusion style. It is an inclusive style that is based on the different level of abilities, strengths, and other differences of the students. And that is the 5 teacher-centered teaching method in physical education and health. Let's now proceed to the student-centered teaching method in physical education and health teaching. First one, we have the guided discovery. In guided discovery, the teacher plans a series of questions and tasks that direct students toward a predetermined answer to the problem or learning target. On this method, the teacher will provide series of questions and tasks that will guide students towards discovering an answer to a certain given task or problem. For example, you are teaching the students how to play kickball. So in order for the students to discover the answer to that question, you should provide them a question or task that will lead them on discovering the correct ways on how to play kickball. Because this conceptual approach to learning allows every student to be involved in convergent process of thinking about a particular movement problem or tactical concept. And that is the guided discovery which you can apply in different areas of physical education and health. The next teaching method we have is the convergent discovery. Convergent discovery is similar to guided discovery, but the only difference is that the questions or problems provided by the teacher has a numerous solution. For example, you are teaching the students how to serve a ball in a volleyball game. We all know that there are some ways or techniques how to serve a ball. That's why, in order for the students to discover the numerous solutions on that problem, the students control the process of learning by using trial, error, and logic in order to discover the alternative answers to the posed question or problem. Let's have another example. For instance, you are teaching the students how to take care of the body. You will going to provide them questions like what are the things to be done to be healthy, which has numerous solutions. And by answering the given question from their experiences on how they take care of their body, this will lead them to the answers on the given problem or question. And that is the convergent discovery. Convergent meaning all the answers will lead to a one question. Let's now move on to another teaching method, which is the divergent production. This method is a progression from convergent discovery. Again, the teacher plans or sets a question and challenge for students which has numerous possible solutions. However, once learners have solved one problem, the solution should pose a subsequent problem that needs to be solved. So this teaching method is an excellent approach in games tactics, gymnastics, or dances. For example, you are teaching the students how to play agawan base, patintero, or other indigenous games. First one, you will going to ask them questions or give them problem that is related on that games. Then after they solve or give the answer to that question, you should pose another question or subsequent problem from the solution they give until they discover the tactics or techniques on how to play patintero. And that is what divergent production is. Divergent meaning you are going to diverge the solution to another problem. That's why it is divergent production. Next teaching method is the learner design. On this method, the teacher decides on an area of focus which the student has to develop by devising their own questions and seeks to find the answers. On this teaching method, the teacher will the one who will decide on what area will be the focus of learning. For example, you as a teacher, you choose a certain area of health education, in which for the students to develop their knowledge of learning on this area, they have to devise a questions and seeks to find the answers on the questions they designed by their own. For instance, they can design a questions like what are the symptoms of infections? Or what are the best things to do before eating something? And others. Pupils engaging in this method have a good subject knowledge and creativity, experience in the other teaching styles, and proven themselves as independent on their learning. The students can draw on the teacher's expertise if needed. And that is the learner design. It is all about independent learning. That's why it is a student-centered teaching method. Let's now move on to the next teaching method, which is the learner-initiated. Similar to the learner-designed method, except the pupils decides on the initial area of focus and designs their own learning program in relation to their cognitive and practical ability. So this method is similar to learner-designed method. in which the only difference is that in learner design, the teacher are the one who will decide on what area will be the focus of learning. Meanwhile, on learner initiated, it is the opposite, in which the pupils are the one who will decide on the initial area of focus. And they are the one who will going to design their own learning program that is depend on their cognitive and practical abilities. For example, as a physical education and health teacher, at the beginning of your grading period, you will inform your students that you will learn about some wall or net games. On this example, you let your students choose what specific wall or net games they are good at that is suited on their own ability or strength. On this teaching method, the students meet the teacher periodically to discuss their progress or when needed. And that is what learner-initiated is as a teaching method. Let's now proceed to the last student-centered teaching method in physical education and health teaching, which is the self-teach. Self-teach is an epitome of independent learning as pupils take full responsibility of their own development and learning process. So this teaching method is a good example of independent learning in which the students are the one who is in control of their own learning process, especially for the students that has different learning styles. For example, when teaching the students some sports like badminton or other kinds of dances. So we're just going to guide them to learn on their own learning process. And that is the 11 teaching methods in physical education and health teaching. So let's have a recall again. What are the 5 teacher-centered teaching methods? Very good. So we have the command style or command method, practice style or the practice method, reciprocal style, self-check, and inclusion method. And for the 6 student-centered teaching method are the first one, we have the guided discovery, convergent discovery, divergent production, learner design, learner initiated, and lastly is the self-teach. Students always remember that there is not a teaching styles nor a lessons taught entirely with one teaching method. Rather, it is encouraged that teachers use a range of approaches in their lessons and unit plans, as one particular method may be best suit one particular task. For example, a command method may be deemed safest and best practice for teaching students how to throw a javelin, whereas a guided discovery approach may be more advantageous if the learning objective is to develop social skills. It has been suggested that pupil-centered approaches are more beneficial as they require every student to be more independent and involved in the decision-making process. However, if students haven't developed their independent learning skills previously in physical education and health lessons, it would be beneficial to lead them through the spectrum of teaching methods, starting with the teacher-centered approaches and then progressing to the pupil-centered methods. And that is the different teaching methods in physical education and health teaching. Thank you, children, for listening today, and see you on our next learning sessions. Again, have a good day and God bless us all. Bye!